Next generation weather forecaster Joe Shocker here from patreon.com/stormchaserjs. Today's video again will be uploaded to YouTube since I don't have a track out and there's nothing in close threatening land where I have to do some more in-depth analysis. So I want to just give everyone a general overview of what's going on and also expand my area here of Patreon on YouTube so people can go and see what I'm doing over on Patreon with previous storms and other things I have planned for the upcoming winter. So taking a look here at the National Hurricane Center areas of interest, this area here off the North Carolina coast is going to be dead. Nothing will come out of that. Something may come out of these two systems here in the Gulf of Mexico. It will be weak. It'll head off to the west. They may converge or something like that. But the real attention is going to be this red area, which is 90%, and this orange area that's at 60%. And then Pauline making a run towards Bermuda. Renee staying well in the eastern part of the basin. Renee won't be a problem, but Pauline will be a problem for Bermuda. And I think that Pauline is going to influence the track of what this area red here will be Sally. That's the next name on the list. So Sally, and then this orange area could be Teddy, unless, something crazy goes on and begins to ramp up here in the Gulf of Mexico. But Sally and Teddy are the next two named storms. So looking at the Madden Julian oscillation over the next couple of weeks, we're remaining to be in the null phase. We might get into phase 4 and 5, but many of the forecast members from the European and other guidance are keeping us in the null phase, which means there is no MJO forcing present on the planet. So we really can't use that with tropical development. But if we do get into phase 4 and 5 over the next 2 weeks, you can see phase 4 and 5 would favor parts of the MDR developing, the subtropics, and along the East Coast. And I'm watching the East Coast very closely between the 18th or really maybe the 21st and the 25th. And if we look at that MJO pattern as we get closer to the 24th, some of these members, they do bring it into phase 4 and 5. So that may be an area to look out for phase 4 and 5 along the East Coast. Last 5 to 10 days of the month of September for maybe something to try to run up the coast. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We did this with Isaias back in early August, phase 4. And we had a track that falls right in there, so the MJO might work. We'll have to see what exactly happens with that system, because I think what may happen, and you'll see towards later on, again, is Pauline may have a big influence on that second system. So here's the upward motion pattern from the Japanese. You can see, this is a better looking pattern than last week. You can see upward motion over the Atlantic Basin, some sinking into the Caribbean. This is actually a very favorable pattern. Here's the rainfall. You can see the system here heading out and another system coming in, but dry into the Caribbean. And you can see Pauline there heading towards Bermuda there and the enhanced precipitation, but not much happening in the Caribbean for this upcoming week. Week 2 looks like this. You can see upward motion over the Atlantic Basin, some sinking, and again the Caribbean. So it's going to be interesting to see if we actually do get a storm into the Caribbean. I think it's going to stay more on the outside areas of where the upward motion pattern is. And again, you can see the enhanced rainfall as well along the East Coast, and that's getting out towards, again, the 20th of the month, the last 5 to 10 days of the month, where, again, enhanced rainfall with that MJO being in phase 4 and 5 is something I'm looking at quite closely. And then also 500 millibars, you can see there's some kind of a trough over the Great Lakes and East as well, and some ridging over the North Atlantic. So that is a very interesting look as we get towards the end of September, no question about it. Now, looking at the European model, the guidance, we have several systems here. Here's Pauline, where my mouse is here. Here's that threat of maybe something coming out of one of those areas in the Gulf of Mexico, heading west, likely remaining weak, given there's going to be some sinking motion. So here's Pauline getting close to Bermuda by early next week. Here is Renee going out, and I believe this one down here would be Teddy, and then there's another one coming off after that. So you can see what this looks like as we get towards the middle and end of next week. Pauline heads out, Renee remains out, and then another system is somewhere down here in the southern part of the Atlantic Basin at this time. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly where this thing is. I think it's over here, and it's these stronger members here. So that's going to be an interesting situation to see, at least no question about it. And we'll loop that one more time again. Here is Pauline, here is Renee, and here's the system coming off. So by this weekend, we'll likely have Sally named, and maybe even Teddy named as well, as there's another one following it right behind. So I would not be surprised to see Sally and Teddy named by Sunday night. Would not surprise me, just off the west coast of Africa. And again, you can see Pauline heading out, and then the system here in the Gulf of Mexico possibly developing, and then the bigger, more impactful system coming through here in about a week's time, coming into the western part of the Atlantic Basin. Again, here's the track for Pauline. I think the National Hurricane Center's got a good track. A hurricane getting close to Bermuda by early next week. Renee remaining out there, probably what will happen is Pauline will take Renee out and they'll just congregate out in the North Atlantic and just rack up energy. Ace points is like what we call, but again, no impact to land from Renee. The only impactful system will be Pauline, possibly becoming a major hurricane. I think Pauline is got a shot to become a major once it makes that northeast turn as it interacts with the upper level winds north and east of Bermuda early next week, middle of next week. So over the next few weeks, no surprise here, the Atlantic Basin, favorable conditions remain for at least the next 2 or 3 weeks. And I really think that this is going to go right in to mid-October. So really the next 3 to 6 weeks will be quite busy. And then after that, we will be calming down. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.